Morning, everyone. Happy January 2022. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for coming back and giving me your warm wishes of healing from the COVID sickness that I had and my husband had the beginning of the year. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad I'm feeling better. I missed everybody. I have a lot to share with you. Primarily knitting. I do have rug hooking and I do have spinning. So get your cup. It's going to be a long one. Come on. I got lots to share with you. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm starting with knitting first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the projects that I've been working on and then my newer cast-ons from the Knit Along with Yarn and Yarn. So I'm going to jump right in. Hope everybody's ready. Get your cup, tea, coffee, favorite adult beverage. Come and enjoy. So my first one is a sweater that I purchased the yarn from our trip to Iceland. And I wanted to make my husband a sweater. He really likes the sweater that I made for him before. So I wanted to have something special for him to commemorate our big trip. So this pattern is called Zacapa. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it is very, very textured. The whole yoke area is very textured, goes on to the sleeves, and then in the side, which I thought was really cool, it had this design pattern that went up from the band all the way up to the undersleeve. So that is currently on my needles. The yarn is, you see, Let Lopi. It is a beautiful blue, like a steel blue color. And this is a pretty good representation of the color. More steel blue than a royal. But this is how far I've gotten. I've gotten the side band, the ribs, and up onto the border. So I just felt some stitches coming off. I don't need help with things going awry. I do it all by myself. So I'm going to put those back on. So I think that's pretty cool, don't you? I like the textures. I like how this yarn is really showing up for this. So I'm happy with this. Obviously, I have a long way to go, but there's no hurry because, you know, winter will be here whether I'm ready for it or not. Okay, so then the next pickup that I've been working on and actually started to pick this back up. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I started this. It's a pattern that I already made once for my mother. And the pattern is called, excuse me for the crinkling, Half Hour Throw. It's very heavy with cables, high pattern designs. So I'm really thrilled with this. This is in my orange. And make sure I show you the right side. So that's how beautiful the side cabling is. And then the texture. So here is the pattern per repeat for that row. So as you can tell, I have markers to keep me on track. But this is, I want to say one row takes me a good, if I'm on a roll and nothing is distracting me, That's a joke. It takes me about 15-20 minutes per row. So I got a ways to go, but I'm excited about that. And I have that stored in my field supply bag with all my, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but all of my national park pins. My husband and I love to go to the national parks. So that's a good one. The next one, I know. Hold on to your seats because it's really me. I'm really doing a sock. I've wanted to do socks. I've torn out socks. I've frogged them back. I've kept the yarn, thinking I'll get back to them. Yeah, not so much. So, I swore I was going to do this. So I watched an episode from Arnie and Carlos, and they talked about the super easy sock pattern. So I thought, I'm going to follow them. So here's the first sock. Ta-da! Afterthought heel. Woohoo! It's for my husband. Yes, I know I'm experimenting on him. Sorry. But I'm very, very excited about this. This is Pattern yarn. So it comes with the really cool, intricate design. I'm really happy with that. And I didn't do too bad on my heel. I don't see any holes, but I am going to reinforce it because my husband is very, very hard on things. So that's the first sock. I don't know how to fold these yet. And here's the second one. I have my line in here to pull out for the afterthought heel. And I am going up to the ribbed portion. So I'm not doing too bad. That's the second one. I'm thrilled. So I think what I'm going to do is I have some sock yarn that I attempted to make some socks before, and I was very challenged with that, the process. So I'm going to pull those sock yarns out before I get carried away and buy more sock yarn. So here's another project, another sock project that I have been working on and have picked up. And these are 2 at a time socks. There's the second one. So what I did was I took the socks off when I came to the heel. And I figured I can do the heel better if it wasn't 2 at a time. So there's the heel. And there, it's a little shorty for me. And this yarn is awesome. It is by my friend Dog with Zia Wools. So it was her Christmas sock yarn from I want to say 2020, maybe 2019. But I love it. It's not really socky. Not really Christmassy, but I really like it. So I'm going to try and get this done in February. So I shouldn't have too much more because I just have the foot and the toe. But with the 2 sock patterns, and one was a gusset and one was an afterthought heel, I really, at this point, kind of like the afterthought heel. It seems a little bit easier for my brain to work on. So I think that's a good start for me, at least. So are you ready? This section over here is all my new projects for the 12 cast-ons with Yarn and Yarn Angie. And I have 7, but I really have an 8th one, but I don't have anything to show you yet. But I found a pattern and I wanted to make another hat for myself, but I don't have it casted on, and I have till the end of the month to have my 8th one done. So yes, I know that this is a lot. Yes, I know, but it works with my brain so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, I actually wrote notes so I could keep on track. So my first one is I've wanted to make this pattern, this sweater, for a long time. And it's called Rug. And it's not a new pattern. But here is the top. It's a roll neck, which I'm going to really, really like. And then this is the top, little design. And then we're coming down into the color work section. So I'm going to get that pattern out so you can see, remember what this was supposed to look like. I can barely tell that it's there, but, excuse me, sorry. It's an oversized sweater, which I'm pretty thrilled with. But see these little dots right here? Those are going to be the yellow. And then the rest of this body area is going to be white. And then I'm going to pick up with the yellow. I haven't decided if I'm going to do these big X's in yellow. I haven't decided yet. I might, just because I have the yarn and I don't want to waste it. The yarn is really, really cool to work with. It's Valley Yarns, the Berkshire Bulky, and it is 85% wool and 15% alpaca. The colorway is called Merlot Heather, which is this burgundy, and Merlot is a perfect description of this color. And I think with my white hair, gray hair, I think that coloring will look good with me. Something to really consider when your hair color changes. So that one was my first of my cast on, so I've gotten pretty far on this one. It's a very simple pattern, very easy. The only thing is with this type of, it's a singles construction. So, and it's bulky, so it's not all that friendly for your hands, or at least mine. So I only work on it for a little bit at a time. My second cast on sweater is the Richmond Hill pullover. And this one is a birthday knit. I like it in black and white because it really gives you, your mind the opportunity not to be influenced by their colors that they chose. This way you can use your own thoughts about the colors that you want and that you want to show off. So, I saw this on Instagram and I just fell in love with it. So, my friend Joyce from Ruby Moss Cottage, hi Joyce, we're going to go ahead and make this for our birthdays, which mine's in September and hers is in October. So, we're going to be hopefully getting this done sometime this year, if not by our birthdays. So, I only have a little bit going from bulky to this finger weight yarn. But I got the top portion for the collar, and it's in this beautiful green, evergreen color. I love this. It looks very blue on screen. Here, that's a really good color right there. It's if you think about evergreen, that's exactly what it is. It does have a little bit of, looks to me like dark black, maybe a dark gray. Maybe they over dyed this on dark gray. But it's a very, very nice yarn. I really, really like it. The only thing is, because this is a 2-ply, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can see I've been cleaning my my fountain pens, but it's a 2-ply, and sometimes the two separate, so you really have to be careful. And I'm not going to go into showing you all the yarns for the sleeves, but I got quite a bit of color choices. So I'm going to, once I get the top portion done and the body, I'm going to play with the pattern and create a master so that I can see what color goes where and how will it play with the next color. So once I get to that, I'll show you where I'm at with that design. So let's go back to my notes. Then the next one is called Calypso Knits. It's a fingerless mitt. And this is pretty special to me. Here's the mitt. Just your simple rib. Fits really well. I like how it fits. I like the neutral color, which is unusual for me since I really like color. The pattern, the Calypso pattern, calls for another rib up here by the fingers, and I didn't want that, and I'll show you why. But what I did is I actually did an I-cord cast off. I-cord bind off for this. I wanted to have a nice little rib. And there's a pattern that I am following for the top. I'm going to embellish it. And this is a pretty good idea of the embellishment. They're flowers, 3-dimensional flowers that are actually crocheted, and this is embroidered onto the top of the fingerless mitt. And I'm not a crocheter, so I'm hoping that in February, when the COVID ban kind of lifts a little bit, that we can see our fellow knitter friends. I'm hoping that we'll be able to go, because I have a friend who is a big crocheter, and I wanted to sit with her so that she could help me. But here are the colors for the flowers that I'm going to make. Aren't they pretty? These were minis given to me by my really sweet friend Zia Wools, and I purchased some yarn from her, and she gifted me those. So I was really happy about that. I'm very excited. So as soon as I get the second mitt done, then I'll meet up with my friend, and she'll show me how to make those flowers, and hopefully I should have those done by the end of February. Hopefully either by the next podcast, or we'll see. Could be March. Who knows? So the next on my list is called Waiting for Winter, and it's a bulky mitten by Susan Anderson. And I really was looking for a really nice mitten. I made a mitten last year, and I wasn't all that happy with it. I loved the yarn, and I loved the red. I'm not sure if you remember seeing that, but it wasn't very warm. And it had a cable pattern right here. Excuse me. And I thought, I want, because I walk my dog every day, so I wanted to make sure that I have a warm mitten. So here is my color choice. Hopefully you can see. So this is, it's called Fire Maple. It's 70% wool and 30% alpaca. And it's considered a bulky yarn, and it's dyed by a company called Frayed, F-R-A-Y-E-D, K-N-O-T Fiber. She and I did a fiber exchange a couple years ago, and I've been wanting something special for that. But oh, look at those colors. Those are perfect representation. The sun just did enough. So I'm looking forward to having this one completed by the end of this month, and hopefully get the second one done, so that, because we're supposed to be getting some frigid weather this week and lasting until next week. So I really would like to have a good wool mitten. I have mittens, and don't get me wrong, I do keep my hands protected, but I wanted to have my wool mittens. So the next one, you still with me? It's a shawl. I haven't made shawls in a while, and I'm really missing them. I wear them a lot. I have two that I wear in the mornings when I walk my dog. They're shorter. This area is short, but very long, so you can wrap it a couple of times, and I like that pattern design for that. It keeps your upper chest warm. But this one's a pretty one. This one's called Mara, and it is this one is special and different. This, I don't know if you've purchased anything from Skin Cocaine. I love her. I love her. Her personality, her way she does her podcast, she is like dead on for me. Gina is amazing. So I purchased this sock yarn from her, and I wanted to do the shawl that everybody was talking about, where you have that special yarn where it's blank. I'll show you while I'm talking. So here's white, and then this is black. And I wanted to have a basic black and white shawl, maybe with a little pop of color. So I think it was a fleur-de-lis or a flower type, where you take the white and you make this special design structure. Well, the fussiness was fine, but with me and the way to construct the particular shawl pattern, it wasn't me. So I wanted to keep going with the yarn. I love the yarn concept. And I've told you that I wanted to have my knits to be more of a statement, an accessory statement, or a statement for one of my garments. So here is where I am. This is a plain basic shawl. I'm sure you can see. So this is the front, but it's got your center bones, and then it just goes to the black and white. And I like how the white and black are playing with each other. And I'm thinking of adding, I have a magenta pink that I thought would be really cool, either to add tassels or possibly put it into this eyelet area right here, just as a little pop of color. I'm still thinking about that in my mind. But the shawl pattern is called Mara, and there's a very good idea. It's very simple, here, but then it has a really nice edge to the shawl. So a border on one side, I believe. So I thought that would really play well with the yarn. I want the yarn to be more special than the shawl pattern. So thanks, Tina. Appreciate it. So here's my next one. It's called Aperture. It's from the Pom Pom magazine and another Mara, but the designer is Mara Lecole. So this is the Pom Pom magazine, and here is the pattern. I know you can barely see it, but it has an almost like an eyelet design in the edging, which I really think is just elegant. And what I've done is I've started with this and there you can see the little eyelets. See the little eyelets right there? You see that? It's a beautiful pink. I know, me and pink. But it's kind of more of a magenta pink, so I can get away with it. But it's a nice, I don't want to say a variegated, but it's a nice tonal pink, magenta. So a light pink to this magenta coloring. And I really, really like that. It's just a gorgeous color shade for me. This is also from Zia Wools. I don't remember what her colorway was. Let me see if I kept the band. I did not. I think this was kind of a one of a kind, but her colors are, if you don't know Zia Wools, it's Ziawolz. She has some amazing colors and her yarns are just luscious. So if you can, check her out. She's one of my besties. The last, I believe, yes, the last is called Hipster by Joji. And everybody knows the hipster pattern. I don't do anything right away, obviously. But there's the hipster pattern. And I thought that was super cool. And I wanted to have a beautiful red so I can wear it to the Cardinal games if we ever get to play again. And I frogged a sweater because I wasn't really happy with the construction and the way that it turned out. So I wanted to use this red, and that's a very good, the light is hitting it just right. It is called Rios, Rios, by Macintosh. But I've gotten pretty far on the top portion, so I have to keep going so that I can get to the fun part, which is the eyelet section. I love this yarn. It's very soft. I love the feel of it, so it's going to be a beautiful addition to my shawls. And I like the fact that it's going to be red. I don't have a solid red, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not sure if you saw this or know about this, but this is a shawl. Speaking of shawls, and I'm going off the path again, I just happened to see it. I want to pick this back up, and primarily because this is going to segue us into my spinning. But this shawl, I think, is going to be stunning if I can ever get it finished. That's a good good shot of the coloring, the pattern, very Southwest look. The colors are Southwest. Now there we go. This is my hand spun. So it's got turquoise, oranges, pinks. There we go. Love this bulky. And then I have it paired with a cream alpaca, just a store-bought yarn, because I wanted the yarn, my hand spun, to shine more than the natural color. But this pattern, and I really want to get this back up, but like I said, the bulky's weight is kind of challenging on my hands. But this one's called Azul. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Azulejo. So you can figure out how to spell that. But I'm not that, I don't have that much further to go. So I just need to keep going. But that's the total pattern picture. Obviously black and white. I just love, as I've told you before, I love the black and white. It gives your mind a chance to understand what it is that you want to do as opposed to what did they do. And I've been like that for a very long time. In my quilting days, I would make my patterns black and white just because I didn't want to be influenced by the designer's color choice. I just wanted it to be me and represent my color choice. So now let's go to spinning. I'm pretty excited about this. Another, it's not a knit along, it's a spin along. So come on, get your refresh of your coffee, your water, your tea, and then let's go to the spinning section. Oh, what a mess I have over there from all the knitting. But, oh, and I didn't get to show you. Oh, and I don't know the name of this sweater pattern, but this is the pattern that I made when we were in, I want to say in Alaska. I finished it. My wooden buttons. Okay, I'll figure it out and I'll try to remember to put it in the description below. This is my spinning area. At the first of the year, my friend Carrie, hey Carrie, decided to launch a spin along for Spin for Socks. And I'm super excited. Yes, I'm going to try to make another pair of socks. And from my hand spun. But what I have here is, in fact, I should take it off. I'm going to take it off right now and show you my, because I have to put on a new bobbin. But here is my spin for sock. This is pretty thin for me. I don't know if you can see that. And the way in which I'm spinning, if you're not a spinner, you should be. Why not? Join in the rest of us. This is Shetland. And I combined it with a Moret, M-O-O-R-I-T, Moret type of Shetland, and a dark brown. And I needed to have, according to Carrie's instructions, I needed to have about 6 ounces. And what I had was 4 ounces of basically 3 colors. So I took the 2 colors, the light brown and the darker brown, and combine them on my drum carder. And then what I'm doing is I'm peeling them apart. I'll show you. I'm actually, so each bat was 4 ounces. Let's see if I can get this. So I take, this is how I prepare for it, my spin. So now I have 2 shorter sections of my bat. And then I take this section and I peel it apart. And then from there, then I take a smaller chunk, just like that. Okay? And no, I don't think it's ready. So then I'll take it and I'll draft it a little bit more and show how dry my hands are. And I keep going that whole length. And then I'll come to the end so I come to the opposite end and I'll do it again, just to make sure that the proportions of this little drafted item, or I don't even know what you call this, where I'm going to be ready to spin this, I'll take it and keep drafting just slightly so that I can make sure that the consistency of the yarn that I want will be fairly consistent in the spin portion. So then I'll take that and I'll make a little nest. And there's my little nest. So I'll do that. Technically what I've been doing is spinning this, which will make 3. I'll do a section at a time. Excuse me for the crinkling, but that's what I've got my wool stored in right now. Excuse me. But what I do is try to only spin half hour to an hour. When you have or notice that you're having arthritis issues, I try to make sure that I don't abuse my hands too much. So I keep the spin very minimal per the day. So for the socks, they're going to be primarily brown. I haven't picked a pattern because, you know, my experience that I showed you over there, I'm trying to keep it basic. But I wanted to spruce it up a little bit because I want these socks to be for me. And if you don't know me, I'm an orange fanatic. I love orange. So over here on this beautiful bobbin is my orange, and this is my Masha Craft, and this is my Lendrum, and this is the orange. I'm going to take this apart. So again, this is considered roving, and what I'll do is I'll start to draft it ever so slightly so that I can make sure that my spin is consistent, or as consistent as I can make it. And I'll keep this going and going and going until I feel that the airiness is in this spin. And so I'll do that same process to this yarn. And I'm going to take this bobbin off. It's not very full, but I'll show you where I'm at with this spin. Um, I really enjoy my Majacraft, and I primarily use my Majacraft for my art yarn, but I'm trying to um, build my skills for this wheel. I love this wheel. It's such an investment, and my husband purchased this for me, gosh, I want to say 8, 9 years maybe that I've had this. And I normally keep it, especially both of them, because of it being beautiful wood, and I've got these skylights. I want to make sure that the heat and the sun doesn't hurt my the wood on these beautiful spinning wheels. But here is the orange, and the orange is not as thin as I would like it, but for heels, toes, and cuffs, I think it'll be fine. Like I've said, this is a hand. Are you on? No. It's my first time spinning for a purpose and spinning socks. Now, whether these are going to be socks that I wear out, meaning in shoes or boots, or if this, depending upon the construction of the 2-ply yarn, if it will be, I'm going to get this thinner. Maybe you might enjoy seeing me spin a little bit. The camera's not obviously set up for you to see me spinning, but I want to start spinning with a purpose. My art yarns, and maybe you might have some recommendations for me, and I would love to hear your comments and direction for me. But I have all these beautiful art yarns that the amount isn't enough to do much with it. So you're looking at 4 ounces, and the 4 ounces are really eaten up in yardage. So with the yardage, you're going to be probably looking at maybe 100 yards maybe. So what I was thinking of, and you tell me what you think, I was thinking of just making a blanket or a throw of all the different textures. And I think what's going to be kind of weird about that is the gauge will be considerably different. So I have to figure out how I can do this and use my yarns that I've made and I've kept. Some of my yarns I have incorporated into my rugs that I hook, but I know that this would be primarily used for weavers who do a lot of weaving with their hand spun. That's a rabbit hole I don't know if I ever want to go down. I love it. I love to look at it, but it seems too much math for me, and math is not my friend. Don't get me wrong. I can do it if I need to, but it just seems to be too much, not enough fun, too much work, if that makes any sense. But that's kind of what my thoughts are. So please let me know. Maybe at some point I can do a little video to show you some of the different, I'm looking over there because they're in baskets. Some of my art yarns are very, very textured. Some of them are considered super bulky. So a lot of them are very textured, and I want that to still show. So maybe give me some suggestions. Give me some of your recommendations. I would love to hear in the comments below um, on this video. Please let me know. I'm struggling and I want to have a purpose for things, and I don't want to be wasteful with the fibers that I've used and the investment that I've had in those too. So I'm going to put a new bobbin on my Lendrum wheel here, and I will get set up for my second bobbin for the brown. And what I'm going to do before I start to spin is I'm going to go ahead and grease this up so that it's going to be ready for the new spin that I'm going to have on this baby. Now, I know that you all have in your possessions some tools that you may have names for them. Well, this is called LV or Lovey. And Carrie, my friend Carrie from My Wool Mittens, she's My Wool Mitten. She is from the Mitten portion of Michigan, so the lower Michigan. And she's the one, if I didn't explain this, I apologize. She is the brains behind the Spin for Socks. And she and I purchased this wheel from her, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago. She had a name for it, and I think it was Laverne. And I really liked the name, but my mother passed away, so it must have been 2 years ago. And I named the V portion, so it's LV for Lovey. The Majacraft, I don't have a name for it, but I love it. So next portion, the next area that we're going to talk about is my rug hooking. Come on, get your coffee. Let's go. Hello. This is my area where I hook my rugs. This one is a very large rug. These poles or rods are 60 inches long. So with the Shetty Camp, that's what this is. I purchased this from Deanne Fitzpatrick in Nova Scotia. And she has the group, a man, his little company that produces the Shetty Camps for us. I do have a smaller, which I'm sure if you've been following me, I want to say they're 40 inches, maybe 30 inches. I think they're 30 inches. So I did that for my rug hallway runner. So this one, can you see? I don't want to give it away too much, but this is a shot that my husband did while we were in Iceland. And it's I love this because of the coloring. This was in September, end of September. And it's actually, it snowed on my birthday. So I wanted to have snow. These beautiful little churches. I'm going to move this over just slightly and not have me so much in the view. But there's the cute little church, and then the greens and this golden foreground. So here is, and I'm going to take you off for a second. So hold on. Okay, I'm hand holding this. This is the top portion of the rug. And here is the pattern that I am taking from my husband. And here is the part of the church. So I am a very avid rug hooking artist. I use wools, I use yarns, I use my fibers. Here's some of the fibers that I'm going to be, some of my art yarn that I'm going to be using in my rug. So that's one way, in one place that I'm putting my art yarns to work. But this will probably take me a good 2 more months. And if I work on this for a couple of hours every day, which is going to be challenging now because I'm back at work part-time. So that's an idea of the rug hooking, the time involved in this, using, like I said, the wools, the different bulky yarns, thick and thin. I even have velvet type yarns in here. Now this is not, it's obviously acrylic, but here is another velvet material that I'll use in the rug. So I use all different types of fiber and yarns and wools for my rugs. This one's going to be actually going to be hanging up over there on the rice paper wall. I think it'll do really well. So I think I have accomplished everything that I wanted to bring up to you of what I've been working on. I have quite a bit in my other areas of my different paths. I've been doing a lot of art journaling, learning different techniques, making rubber stamps, which I'm having so much fun with. So I'll add that into my other episode. I didn't want to bombard the very first episode so badly that people are like, seriously, Sherry, you need to get a rest. So thank you so much for sitting and listening to me, and please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscription and come and follow my journeys that I try to incorporate in the art areas that I work on a daily basis. Please add any type of comment, question that you have on anything that I've provided or submitted or shown you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. You can find me on Instagram as Twisted Dye Kitchen. Obviously, my YouTube is Twisted Dye Kitchen, My Fiber Journey. Please take the time that you have with your crafts and enjoy. And until then, have a good day. So glad you're back. Bye-bye.